Welcome to Module 6. In this module, we're going to talk about norming. How do we go about making sure the assessment tools that we used have been normed on the populations that we serve? What is norming? Norming is when we develop a new assessment tool and we take it out to a similar population and try the test out, the assessment tool out, on a large population and find out which questions or the way the questions are worded are age appropriate, culturally appropriate, and even gender appropriate for the students we serve. Norming should always occur on the assessment tools, and we should always be aware as to whether or not the tool that we use is appropriate for the students we serve. So let's talk a little bit about norming. In 1969, the Diana versus State Board of Education case was brought forward. It was originated when a group of Spanish-speaking students were inappropriately assigned to educatable mentally retarded classes based on an assessment by an unqualified assessor. Diana occurred because a monolingual psychologist tested Spanish speakers in English and then used this data to place students in special education classes. Even though the case was filed in 1969, it wasn't settled until 1970 out of court. From the case settling, we are to monitor schools for racial imbalance, correct any imbalance, collect data annually, and use representatives of the Latino community when audits are performed in school districts. Latinos were definitely overrepresented in class for children with intellectual disabilities. We need to monitor Spanish-speaking students more closely. And in California, our state law now contains provisions for testing in the child's native language. This court case and the events that followed paved the way for future changes to be made within the country, such as the Education for All Handicapped Children Act, which eventually became the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. So why is norming important? The word norms is a short version of normative scores from standardized tests given to representative samples of students who will later take the same test. When you choose your assessment tool, know who the normative group or norm group is. How many were in the norm group? 10 or 10,000? How long ago was the assessment normed? What is the reliability and validity of the assessment tool? Pay close attention to children who are English language learners. Of course, since Diana versus the Board of Education, we not only need to meet the needs of Latino, we also need to meet the needs of all children who speak different languages and where their second language is English. This does not just apply to the Latinx community. It applies to all communities. Make sure you're taking the time to look at the norming tool, testing a child in their primary language, and not diagnosing a disability based on the use of only English. As we move into Module 6, you're going to be reading what is the Larry P. versus Riles case and how did it originate. Read in our textbook, steps 10 and 11. Read about culturally responsive practices in special education. It's a literature review on from a published article. You'll have 3 assignments, reporting on the practices that you're experiencing, instruments and summaries that you are using. I want you to also watch and read related services. And the third and final assignment for this module is the team approach, a reflection. Please let me know if you have any questions along the way.